say, look at how the time
And here we go for the
goes.
next installment of Tiffy Tuesday. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing, John?
I'm doing quite well. I couldn't ask. Well, I could ask, but I probably wouldn't get it any better than I have it now.
I'm glad to hear that. And what makes your life like that?
What makes my life like this? I'm a country boy from Ohio. So when people ask, I tell, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I'm worn out. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good stuff. So I'm enjoying the journey. It's wearing me out, and eventually I'm going to have to take a break. I'm going to have to cut some things off and put some things on hold, but I'm enjoying the journey. And fortunate for me, I have the most adoring and loving wife who not only does she support me and back me, she lifts me.
Yes, she does.
She carries more of this burden than I could ever expect her to. So salute to my lovely Snoopy.
Salute to Snoopy, because she is a fantastic woman. Even I fell in love with her the first day I met her.
Isn't she just the sweetest thing?
She is fantastic. I remember the first time I met her was at your when you popped your cherry on stage.
Yes,
in the comedy.
Quite painless, very little blood, and painless.
And so she, of course, being a supporting, loving wife, she was out in the audience, and it was the first time I met her, and you introduced me to her, and me being the American, I just went immediately in for the fucking awkward hug. Hi, so nice to meet you. And she stuck her hand out. She goes, I don't do hugs. And I loved her immediately. I was like, she's like, no, I got my fucking boundaries are right here. I'll be your friend, but don't do any of that touchy thing.
I call it a lovable harshness that she has. She'll say things like that, like, and literally put up her hand to stop you and say, I don't do hugs. But there's something lovable and endearing about that. It's weird.
She wasn't like,
she wasn't mean.
Manhandling me or anything, but it was like absolute respectful. I don't do hugs, and I'm like, Roger that, but I'll do a handshake. I was done with it. And then we started talking about ridiculous TV shows, the rest of the time. But
you guys hit it off. You guys hit it off right away.
Yeah, she's great. And me personally, I gotta admit, I'm a little bit homesick today. Are you? Oh, I am so bad, because the sun is it's very few days. I mean, you live here in Norway as I do. We're both American expats, you from Ohio, me from Florida.
Yeah.
Florida. So me from Florida, it's just so sunny outside right now. It's sunny, it's beautiful. I can smell cut grass in the air.
Oh, yes.
My allergies are going fucking crazy. It's making me really, really homesick. And I live in, I won't tell what town, but I live in a town by the sea, so I can smell a little bit of seawater in the air.
Yeah.
So I'm so homesick. So I've been sitting here at home because it's still Rona time. So I got my
got your Rona goggles on.
I've been day drinking,
I love it. Look at you. No, so I know what you mean about the homesickness thing. I'm constantly homesick. It never goes away. Never goes away. It's just varying degrees of homesickness, but it's always there. And sometimes days like this, when the weather is especially good, and little things like smelling cut grass, and it can be the simplest thing, and it just kicks that homesickness up a notch.
It does. Yeah. And it does. And all that homesickness does also, because I've been here quite a while. I've been here like 13 years, and that's, I don't want to name my age, but it's been, I'll just say, like a majority of my adult life, I've been out here in Norway. And so all of these Florida homesickness smells and sounds and tastes bring me back to my childhood or teenagehood or, youth.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when I first fell in love. And that's actually precisely what I want to talk about today.
Let's talk about love.
Love. I want to talk about what makes the world go round for you, but more specifically, I want to talk about new love.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
New love is the Helen Keller of all the levels of love. You know what I mean? It's deaf, blind, and dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just go in full-heartedly, and you don't always think before you leap.
I don't think anyone, they can try and play the hard ass, but I don't think anyone who is newly in love is thinking clearly.
No.
It's kind of a roll of the dice, isn't it?
It is, but we want to like kind of delve into where the factors come from and why you're so fucking stupid when you're in love in the first phase of love. And what, are you really, really in love? Or is this the infatuation stage where Disney takes over and all these ridiculous Lifetime or Prince and Princess Christmas movies, the Christmas Prince movies and all that bullshit romantic movies where they say like stalking is love comes in play. So how did you know that Snoopy was the one for you?
You know, that is so hard for me to put, and I'm constantly reflecting on our marriage and I mean, I'm very there. I'm a feelings kind of guy. I'm not afraid to think on it or express it. But that specific thing about when did I know, that is so hard for me to put my finger on. I will tell you there was an abnormally strong attraction, not the first time we met, because the first time we met, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, hi, nice to meet you. Oh yeah, she's got a nice butt. And then we both just kind of moved on.
Right.
But when it clicked, and this is maybe a year and a half, 2 years after we met, when it clicked, I knew that there was something special there. I can't say that I knew I would marry her. I can't say that I knew we would be together forever, but I knew there was something special. I had a very distinct recognition of a personality in her that matched with mine. Not that we were the same. In fact, we're almost polar opposites in everything. But those polar opposites, you know, if you think of magnets, the polar opposites are what stick together.
I remember seeing that picture you posted on Facebook where you took the picture from your point of view and you were holding up a muffin with a oven mitt or some shit out the window, and out of the window we can see Snoopy changing the tire on the car. And she's just this wee little thing. She can't be much bigger than me, and I'm just a wee little thing. So, and just to see the whole role reversal between you two, this bodybuilder in there baking muffins or whatever the hell you were doing, it's so cute.
She's very much the outdoorsman, and I say outdoors man. she's the kind of person who wants to be out swinging an axe or hammering some nails. I have a lot of pictures when we were living up north, and the snow would literally be up to the roof of our house, and she was the one that would get in the tractor and move the snow, while I literally very often would be inside baking muffins. So. You know, and I like being outdoors as well, but she is like a real Grizzly Adams.
She's a Lars Monson, the female
Lars Monson in Norway, yeah, and she's so in a lot of aspects we are polar opposites, but it fits. We mesh together like puzzle pieces.
Well, your personalities do, and even you have opposite personalities. Like you are a hugger and a high fiver and all that, but. Yeah. She's not. Yeah. You complement each other, and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful,
and it's very beautiful. And I'm I don't know if proud is the right word to say, but I feel good about our relationship, and I think that we
feel secure in it. I'm sure.
Absolutely, I know she's there. Not that I take advantage of it, because she also knows that I'm there, and she is far from taking advantage of me. So it has to do with mutual respect. It has to do with a certain level of communication, and then it has to do a lot with a lot of introspection.
Roger that.
And when you have that in place before a relationship, now there will always come a certain amount of surprises, and surprises don't have to be negative in a relationship.
No, they don't.
So there will always be so there's always a certain unknown factor. But when you have that introspection thing done, when you can look at yourself and gauge your own value, your own worth, And when you are mature enough to know what you want in a relationship, when you do come across that person, it's almost effortless. Things just work.
See, now, John, everything you just described right there is the signs of a very healthy, good relationship. One that's nurturing, one that's loving, one that you know that even if you fall, she's got you. And I've seen she's got muscles. She will pick your ass up. She's got you, so she's got you. She's a super strong woman, and she will love you to the ends of the earth. But on the flip of that coin, when you think you have that love, when you think it's everything. Now, this is why this shit comes up, because I'm in love, John. I'm very much in love. And I know it's the real love, kind of like you. I can talk to you about it because we got great communication and all that. But one of the parts of being truly, deeply in love is dealing with their neuroses, right? Yes. And knowing how to deal with whatever's going on over there, And so my man has he has a problem. He has an addiction, and he likes to watch his stories.
Okay, his stories. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not his TV shows, his stories.
Yes, yes. He's got his stories. I got when the stories come on, because this is the 90-day fiance. That's why all this shit's coming up right now, because I love my man hard enough to sit here through these marathons of this fucking TV show, which show every red flag that I've ever made. Okay. So this TV show has been a mirror in, like, This Is Your Life. Remember that TV show, This Is Your Life?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I've been going through this marathon of my man's stories, because this is always, it's on pause right fucking now on the TV.
Really.
So we're going to do this show.
So it's stimulated you to a new level of that introspection I was talking about.
I like the word stimulated instead of the word I was going for was triggered.
Okay.
But we'll say stimulated. That's a nice word. So no, but yeah, I've had a lot of introspection, and because I know the love I have is real now, but is it because I've gone through all the wrong loves in the past, and I know what I don't want anymore? So,
but is that a bad thing? If that's the case?
Thinking about the red flags that I missed in all the other relationships, like why did it take me until I'm almost whatever age I am now? I'm not going to say the age, but whatever age I am now, why did it take me this long to find that love where I can be like you and Snoopy? I mean, I've got that great love. We can talk about anything. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
We can talk about, I got my neuroses, like.
We all do. Well, we all do. Yeah.
Let's be real. Yeah. So I'm not going to lie about any of that. We know Tiffy. So I got my neuroses, but he loves me. He loves me through and through. There's no doubt. I feel that security in our love where, if he wants to go out on the boys' line, I'm like, okay, cool. I got my things, and there's none of that jealousy drama.
No.
And it came up because I'm sitting here watching this crazy-ass show, 90-Day Fiancé. And I want to scream through the TV at these people going, why are you missing the red flags? So I'm sure in your life, John, Snoopy couldn't have been your very first love, was she?
No, because I was married before. And,
right.
So it was a totally different attraction, and I don't want to badmouth my ex-wife. I've never done that publicly, and I don't want to do it now, but I will say this. When I met her, there was not that click. There was not that meshing together of personalities. There was not that sense of this is the right one.
The fluidity is what I like to call it.
Yeah, the fluidity
was like you kind of like blend quite well. Your humor is right on point.
And that's not to say anything bad about her. I was much younger then, so it has to do a lot with my own mental maturity at the time
and experience. Yes,
sure.
Because there's nobody. It's very rare that anybody marries the first person they ever love. I mean, it happens.
It happens, but not often.
There is happily ever after, but not as often as the fucking Disney, movies and Lifetime specials and all that crap they will portray. It doesn't happen. And I think that's what acquires to the sickness And these people on this TV show of the 90 Day Fiance, they have this fantasy that, I've found this Turkish prince, and the whole reason why it caught my attention was because there was this one particular couple on there, and it was a young girl. She could have been more than 22 maybe, and she already had a daughter, and she fell in love with this Moroccan man. And so she wanted to go to Morocco to visit him, but she was like a toddler. She was, I don't eat vegetables, and refused to wear, it's a Muslim country,
That's right, yeah.
Muslim country, I'm an atheist. I'm a hardcore atheist, but I still respect the culture. Yeah. She didn't wear any of the headdress or anything. She's walking around just cussing and just acting a fool. So, but she was so in love with this guy, but she didn't bother to research his culture, to behave in a way that would be fine for him or anything like that. So what makes you know that it's going to be a lifelong love versus this weird attraction? And what are the red flags you should look for to know if it's real love or if it's not?
Well, for me, there was the meshing of our moral views. That we saw right away. We had a lot of the same interests, and we thought the same way about a lot of things, about a lot of issues. That right there is and I'm not saying you have to blindly agree with your spouse, lover, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Absolutely not. That's not happening over here.
But when you do, naturally agree on a few important, basic things, basic moral issues,
right?
Then that says a lot right there, because even though you can change your mind on issues, and so can your so can your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend, you can change your mind later on down the road. But when you in the start of your relationship are finding out that you agree and you have the same moral views, that right there will save you for a lot of conflict later on down the road. And it kind of erases that thing where you'll be a person who says, well, he changed.
Oh, yes.
But when you agree on certain things and you have the same view, we used to talk about how we wanted to raise kids, 10 years before we had kids.
Right.
Not 10 years, 5-6 years before we had kids. And we agreed on all that stuff. So a lot of the arguing about that, which is a big factor for married couples with children, if you disagree on how they're going to be raised, you can pretty much kiss the marriage goodbye, because you're going to build a lot of resentment. So I think I knew she was the one very early. I can't say exactly when, but it was that process of getting to know her and finding out that our views on a lot of things matched. But I also found out on the issues where we disagreed, it was easy to disagree. In other words, we could talk, sometimes heated discussion on certain things. And our relationship tolerated that.
Yeah.
If something's not right and if something's not in place, you'll find that out very quickly the first time you get into a heated discussion, because that heated discussion will very quickly turn into an argument, which will then turn into conflict, which will then turn into the downfall of your relationship.
Absolutely.
So see, I found out all of those things relatively early in our relationship. And
so you got really lucky, or you learn quickly, or you learn from your past mistakes.
Well, I did learn from my past mistakes. Again, I don't want to talk anything bad about my first wife, but obviously there were problems. Otherwise, we would still be together. So of course you pick up that knowledge along the way. You pick up knowledge from your mistakes.
Right.
And that's okay. I think it's okay.
What red flags you missed. And I know some of the red flags that I remember missing in the relationships that were crazy. And this is what I want people that are about ready to get into a new relationship, or they're in that foggy Helen Keller stage of the new love where they don't know what the fuck is upside down or inside out, is that if you're in a relationship where you feel like you have to hide a part of it from your family.
Thank you.
If there's some reason why, like I see on this 90 Day Fiance, invite, Juan over to the United States to come stay with them, and they lie to their family and say he's on a student visa instead of the K-1 visa, which means they have to get married within the 90 days. If there's a reason that you feel like you have to lie to your family about who they are, anything about them, then it's probably not a good relationship to be in.
Yeah.
That's one red flag. I want people to take notes of these red flags. Another one that people need to look out for is love bombing. I've been noticing a lot of that on this TV show. And this
Tell me what that is. I've heard that expression before, but I don't think I quite have a grasp on what that means, love bombing.
What love bombing is that you meet a person and within a very, very short amount of time, I had a boyfriend do this to me. And this is all from my own past experience. So I'm kind of like pointing my finger when I'm giving these points out. But the love bombing is like within a very, very short period of time, they are telling you are just beautiful, you are everything to them. And if, they just that's what it is, love bombing every day.
Okay.
Sending you flowers and you're just gorgeous and making you feel like a prince or princess and putting you up on that goddamn pedestal. It's a long way to fall from that, and that's the whole point. So you want to look out. If it goes too quickly, too fast, pay very, very much attention to that, because that's not healthy.
Because, there's a difference between creepy and intense. Intense, it can be very good, but creepy is creepy.
Right. And this is what I blame movies and Hollywood and TV on, because, like, if you ever watched the Twilight series,
yes.
That little teeny buffer vampire or whatever, like, most of that shit, if a dude actually did that shit to you, that's creepy. That's not romantic. No. Sitting there, all of a sudden you wake up, this motherfucker's in your room, been sitting in the rocking chair all night watching you sleep.
Yeah.
That's not love. That's a kind of long haul is that what that shit is. That's not love, or following you around or smelling you all the time, very Biden-ish, that's not love.
Snoopy, thinking about that, I think it has to do with maturity and experience with love. Snoopy and I were in our early 30s. I had been through, I was relatively newly separated and divorced. And Snoopy had been through her, relationships, the ups and downs of that, being single. So we kind of, our antennas were up, I guess,
right,
for any foolishness. And I guess we had been through all of that. So, talking about red flags, we kind of knew what those red flags would be. And when we didn't see that in each other, we just moved forward and we opened ourselves up to whatever the relationship could be. We didn't get in the way of it, because if you've seen too many ugly relationships, sometimes you might see a red flag where there isn't one.
Right. And that's also an issue. That's a whole nother show about baggage. And I just put a whole nother, I hate people who say a whole nother. I just said that, excuse me. A whole other, but that's a whole other episode, because people with baggage, that goes with a different sort of mental disorders and personality disorders. That's where personality disorders comes from.
Yeah.
But to be fair, people who do make you commit too fast, or the person that, like, I know you've probably dated this person. Somebody out there's dated this person where they talk about their exes and somehow all their exes are crazy.
Yes.
They're the ones that are crazy. And I'm like, listen, mofo, you are the common denominator in all them goddamn stories.
Yes.
Like, maybe they're not crazy. Maybe it's you.
That is a definite.
And also the ones, this one's I learned the hard way to look out for. The one that has no close friends. You are it in their life.
There's a sign. That's a sign that something's not right.
That's a sign, John. So
I guess I'm when it comes to relationships and when it comes to love, I'm experienced, I guess you could say. I've been married. Mm-hmm. I've been with Snoopy for 20 years, married for 19. Right. And before that, I was married for 7 years.
So you're a commitment man.
I'm a commitment man.
I mean, just because you've been married twice doesn't mean you didn't make a commitment. You made a commitment sometimes after 7 years. I mean,
exactly.
People change.
And before I married my first wife, we were together for, I don't know, 3 years before that. So you could say for the last almost 30 years,
Right.
I've been married or monogamous.
Yeah.
So, and that's a long time to, if I can use the word, analyze the whole thing that has to do with love. I've seen the ups and downs of love. I've seen what real love is. I've seen, I've seen that stuff.
Right.
And I've seen enough of it to know that what I have with Snoop, even though we're talking 2 marriages over a 30-year period.
Right.
Especially within my first marriage, there was so much. And again, I don't want to. It takes 2 to have a bad marriage. Okay,
right.
So I want to say that.
We'll call it. There was a lot of plot.
Yes,
there's a lot of plot to that story.
But within that relationship, that first marriage, there was a lot of learning on my part, which then led me to become mature enough emotionally to appreciate what I saw in Snoopy and not get in the way of it.
I love it when a story comes back full circle. I love it when one of her shows come back full circle. Yeah. That's what made it. It was experience on your part, and most importantly, it was your mistakes.
Absolutely.
It was your mistakes that made you a better husband.
Absolutely. But do you believe in true love? Do you believe?
I do.
Huh?
I don't believe in that whole fucking Hallmark. Well, like he's the one. No, but I do believe in meeting somebody that, like you said, you have fluidity with. There's like I don't get bored of Andrew. Not ever. We've never fought. I don't get sick of his neuroses. Actually, I appreciate his neuroses. Yeah. He's got OCD, and that motherfucker can organize a cabinet.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So his neuroses has nurtured my life, and mine probably hasn't nurtured his, but he's become more patient. He told me. So maybe I have my PTSD and my craziness and my Tiffiness. He's learned to grasp onto that too, and he's a super patient dude. So yes, I do believe there's a true love or there's a good fit, but I don't believe there's always just one. I'm sure, like if
I agree. God forbid
if you found one in your life and you marry your high school sweetheart and they were the one for you, and then God forbid something happens to one, and then I can't say that you can't find love again.
No,
you can find love again after a breakup, or of course. So I don't think there's just the one and then you miss out. And that's it. No, I think that's stupid.
I agree with you, and Snoopy is truly my soulmate, best friend. If I have free time on the weekend, and if I had a choice of hanging out with her or going out with the fellas, I would hang out with Snoop if I had.
I would too. Snoopy's cool.
Isn't she though? No, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I think that's also a thing of maturity, because a lot of men won't admit that.
Right.
They think they're missing out on a certain amount of manliness if they're not out drinking with the fellas. And of course you can do that, but I don't think that should be done at the expense of your relationship, especially if you're married.
I think, and this ought to be written in law, the only time a man loses his manliness in any sort of relationship is if he and his wife are wearing matching sweaters. That's it. I do not condone that in any way, especially during Christmas time. That shit makes me want to barf.
Well, does it count if Snoop walks around wearing my T-shirts?
No, as long as you're not wearing the exact same.
As long as I'm not wearing it, okay.
Or you're wearing the T-shirt in her size. Jesus Christ, that would be great to see. Get that shit hardly over your nipple.
No matching T-shirts or sweaters here. None.
Okay.
Nope.
I'd like to see that. You'd have your arms all the way up here trying to get this shit.
She is such a tiny thing. She is now officially the smallest person in the house. Our son, actually, when he was 11, he was bigger than her.
See, your crotch fruit is. Look at your crotch fruit all fertilized and grown.
No, but love is something that needs to be discussed more often. There's so many aspects to love. We've been talking about the relationship, the man woman, or the couples, whether you're married, whether it's man woman, man woman, whatever. We're talking about that aspect of love, and that is a fascinating thing. But there's other aspects of love as well. I have friends that I loved. I told a friend of mine, Los Hofreager, he's a music friend of mine. I told him a couple of days ago I love him. He called me up. I haven't talked to him in a while. Man, I love you, dude.
You told him Norwegian you loved him?
Huh?
You told him Norwegian you loved him?
Yes, I did. And I tell my Norwegian friends, I tell them, I don't care. I said it as recently as today that now the glasses go on. You got to filter this with them glasses. I made this statement as recently as today that I am not interested in integrating myself here in Norway. I am what I am, and it either fits or it doesn't. And I have told all of my close Norwegian friends that I cannot let go, or I can't dampen that rural Ohio friendliness thing in me. So when I tell them, I've said this to just about all my close friends, when I see you, I haven't seen you in a long time, and then I see you, you're going to get a hug from me.
Yeah, but see, I tried doing that shit to your wife, and she's like,
she's but she's got those Popeye forearms from swinging hammers and stuff, so she was able to get that.
I am what I am, and I told it I am. That's what she said.
No, so she was able to get that stiff arm. No, so there's other aspects of love that I'm very much in touch with. I have a different kind of love for my children.
There's different that. Because my son has a different baby daddy than the man I'm with. There was a split there. So of course, whenever I got a new boyfriend, and then the new boyfriend was coming around a little bit, there was a little bit of jealousy there.
Sure.
So I had to tell him that there's a different compartment for the love, and so I can be full and spouting over with love for you. It doesn't take away from his love.
That is so good that you talk about that, because unfortunately, a lot of parents don't talk about that with their children. And that jealousy issue just builds and builds, and then it turns into an insecurity thing.
Especially in between siblings, too. I mean, sometimes you can have that sibling rivalry because, dad likes you best or whatever, But dad should have the love equally for all the children, or despise them equally, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not afraid of talking about love. I love my Snoopy dearly. I don't know when it started, but it just happened. And I think the to sum it up, the reason that it happened is because I was I had my eyes open, and I was aware enough, and I was mature enough emotionally to not get in the way of the relationship developing into love.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
I think
it's important to have insight.
I think so. Yeah. I'm not like a Jedi master, that kind of insight, but I am a very reflective man. I'm a deep thinker. I am. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've been following you on the show. I'm a big fan. Fangirl.
Well, I hope people enjoy this Tiffy Tuesday series. It's a lot of fun. I like hearing you express yourself. I like, for those of you who are listening, Tiffy comes up with the subject matter on this, and then we just riff on it. So this is the inner workings of Tiffy's mind.
After I've been chumbawamba in it. That's why I had a whiskey drink, and then a
day drinking,
a vodka drink, and then a lager drink, and now
are you rural Florida, or are you?
No, I'm actually from Cocoa Beach. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm afraid I'm a beach girl. I'm a surf fan.
Okay, because I'm so unfamiliar with Florida. Now, Cocoa Beach, is that Gulf Coast or Atlantic Coast?
That is the Space Coast, is what they call it. Okay. And that's on the East Coast, and that is like 45 minutes straight away from east of Orlando.
Okay.
So if you're at Mickey Mouse, you just go straight east until you hit the fucking water.
I hate that mouse. He owes me a lot of money.
Oh, I know he owes me more money than Vegas does, man.
And just to close this off, I want to share a Norm Macdonald joke with you guys about Mickey Mouse. He said he had his son with him. I think he said his name was Dylan. He was like 4 or 5 years old. Took his son, just him and his son, to Disney World. Disney World, Disneyland. Disney World is in
Disney World is in Florida. Don't fuck that up in Florida.
Disney World in Florida.
Okay.
And, and Mickey Mouse has them stupid hands with those fingers. He's only got 4 fingers. So he was holding Dylan to get a picture taken, and he dropped Dylan by accident. He didn't hurt him, but it was enough to scare Dylan.
Right.
And he starts crying, right?
Aw.
And everybody was all concerned, oh, this poor kid, is he okay? Are you okay? And the whole time, that doggone mouse was just smiling the whole time.
Isn't that creepy as fuck? My first experience at Chuck E. Cheese. I remember I got a picture of that, and I can share that shit with you later. Maybe you can post it on the website. But it was at my 4th birthday party, and my mom made me wear this god awful sailor dress with a fucking red tie, and I look like a little sailor. And I'm eating Chuck E. Cheese's 6-foot fucking mouse for the first time, or rat, or whatever the hell it is. And
Let's
you can see
call him a
my
rat.
face. I am terrified. Why do they have that ridiculous expression on their face that has nothing to do with the situation that is going on right in front of them?
Now that Norm Macdonald joke, again, that's not my joke. That's Norm Macdonald, and the way he presented it was hilarious. He has that sarcastic sounding voice, and I tell that joke because I hate Mickey Mouse as much as Norm Macdonald does. We went to Orlando, and I don't think I got my money's worth. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
You didn't shit your pants, did you, John? You didn't get scared?
Oh, you know what? What was that ride? The Magic Mountain? That thing is pretty doggone violent. That roller coaster that goes through there?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I think it was the best roller coaster there. That was my favorite. But it did, I'll be honest with you, it tested out my bra quite well. It was like quite shaky at some points going up the rocks and stuff. So that did yeah.
So this was our latest installment of Tiffy Tuesday. I had a good time. The episode is going to be over shortly, but I'm going to keep thinking about that whole topic about love. What makes it real?
What makes it really real? I mean, besides this 90-day fiance fake, we have to get married in order for me to move in together and let's have a baby on accident kind of thing.
Do you tell your man? Do you tell your man you love him?
I do every day.
I don't.
But she didn't want the handshake. She's good.
No, but I have made a conscious decision years ago. I'm talking like very early in our relationship. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to show it daily.
Well, that's a different show too, John. Love languages. Love languages. There are several different love languages. Some people buy people presents. Some people have to say the words. I know my Andrew, he's a doer. He does something for me. If he wants to tell me he loves me, he vacuums the floor or comes over and fixes a shelf or something. That's the way he tells me.
Well, and each couple has their own love language. Each couple has their own thing. I never say I love you, Snoopy, but I show her every day, so there's no doubt.
Speaking of which, you hear that beeping in the background? I don't know if you know that, but that's the dishwasher going off. My man set that up, and he washed it, and now he's sorting it out.
I just heard him, yeah.
That's the love language.
That's the love language. Yeah. No, I make Snoopy laugh at least once every day. Consciously, I go for that. I want her to laugh because of me at least once every day. So there's little things that I do like that and that's part of our love language. That's how we express our love. Now she'll tell me she loves me, but that's her thing. That's her way of she'll do that. Yeah. She'll stiff arm you, but she'll tell me that she loves me.
She goes for the fucking face neck like she's in the Cowboys. She's out for it. John, it's been great talking to you about this topic, and we need more love in this world. So that's another reason why this topic came up.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to talk about. A great thing to have a little bit of introspection of why am I with the person I'm with? Is it real love? Do I have any red flags that I've missed, or or is it just silly neuroses that actually might better my life in the future? Like my man's got the OCD that can organize everything. Oh my God, you should see my silverware drawer. So anyway, so there's good neuroses and bad neuroses, and just keep your head on a swivel, and don't let love make you deaf, blind, and dumb, and make you do stupid things like have random people from Thailand. That's a big nod to the Donald Trump.
Thank you. Yes.
From Thailand, that, or whatever country, just they swindle you or anything. Just keep your head on swivel. But love can be a beautiful thing. Don't give up on love.
And love isn't supposed to hurt.
Over your lap. You can clean yourself off with the hose and try again.
And love is not supposed to hurt over a long period of time either. It can be painful at times. It can be a struggle at times, but it's not supposed to hurt forever.
And it's also not supposed to make you feel like you're actually going crazy.
Thank you. Well, this has been the newest installment of Tiffy Tuesday. And I just want to say thanks. I absolutely adore you. I'm so glad we're doing this. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with my listeners.
Love talking to you, John.
Likewise.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Tiffy Tuesday, and this has been the Comin Home Podcast with John Allen. Bye, everybody.
I'm coming home. Coming home. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm coming home. I'm coming home.